Good morning, everyone. Just a postscript to Bob's comments on the evolution of the peace at Christ Church. I once had the occasion to say, "Peace be with you," to the late, great Liz Costigan, and I can assure you, it was quite an experience. Fall is pledge drive here at Christ Church Rye, and for the ongoing health of our church, it's really critical that we pledge. The vestry, we get inspiration from Bob and Susan and all the leaders who've gone before them, but the vestry really runs this place, and if we don't fill in our pledge cards, if they don't have some estimate of what the revenue in the coming year is going to be, it's very hard to plan and operate the budget. Thinking about what we're doing here collectively, Christ Church Rye had its first service in 1702. Not in this beautiful building. Our building has been destroyed a few times. The congregation banded together to rebuild it. One of our rectors was actually murdered by rebels during the Revolutionary War, back in the days when this was more of an Anglican church, and eventually, obviously, we've transitioned to the Episcopal Church. But I hope all of us can give generously. Just let me take a brief moment, because I'm a numbers guy, give you a little bit of a 30,000-foot view. This year, pledges were 980,000. That was down about 8% from 2016 and also below 2015 levels. That's not that unusual. We're, as you know, a church going through transition at the top, and other churches typically find that when you're going through this sort of transition that pledges do fall off somewhat. But I spent some time with Garth Schultz talking about our finances, and he said we actually spent more than we brought in last year, and we had to draw some money from the endowment. And the vestry has set a ambitious goal of 1.1 million this year, which would represent a gain of more than 12% from last year. Just to give you an overview, there were 225 families and individuals who pledged, and kind of the median was about $2,000. Half were that level or above, that level below. One of the things, unfortunately, as a pledge chairman, is you're presented with a list of what each donor gave for the last 3 years. But I got to tell you two things from looking at that list. First, wasn't the absolute amounts that strike me so much. I spent some time thinking about the very lowest pledge line. Somebody had pledged 3 times what seemed to be a very small amount, but I spent some time thinking about it, and their financial circumstances are not that easy. As you know, in a community like Rye, there are all kinds of financial circumstances, and to me it really got me the fact that they pledged. And as I looked up and down the names on the list over and over again, I just thought, what a great group, and so many people you just see, wow, they really rose to the occasion. Let me just give you 4 summary reasons why I think the pledge cards will be distributed next Sunday, but take some time, reflect on it, think about what you can give for the coming year, and we hope we can all collectively raise our game a little bit. First, as we know, we're in transition. We've got a short list, according to Holly, of some very attractive candidates, but we're in competition. There are dozens of Episcopal parishes that are looking for ministers. So we're in competition, and by the time this thing plays out, the statistics on the pledge drive will be in, and a strong and committed parish is attractive to a job candidate. So it increases our chances of getting the star to lead us into the future. Second, I would just say give for your friends all around you, up here in the choir, the people who run the place day to day. Give for the others all about you. Third, importantly, give for yourself. I used to live in Loudon Woods, and occasionally I'd bump into this guy, Dave Forrest, walking to the train. Dave's a professor of psychiatry at Columbia. So one day I said, Dave, what can you tell me about human happiness? And he paused and he thought, well, Richard, I'm an Orthodox Freudian, and Freud did not speak directly too much to that particular point. He said, if I could boil down 40 years of experience in the profession, I would say to be happy, you need meaningful work and someone to love. And I've actually spent a lot of time thinking about that sentence subsequently. What is meaningful? What constitutes work? Someone to love, not someone who loves you. Well, I would just suggest that being generous with your pledge, you're doing meaningful work, we're all doing it together, and you're showering that love on the people all around you. And finally, just as the last reason, give generously to continue the work of our Lord. Thank you.